In the worn-down neighborhood of Brooklyn's Flatbush, where cultures clashed and dreams struggled to bloom, lived a girl named Noreen Ali with her single mother, Zulika. Theirs was a modest one-bedroom apartment above a laundromat, with flickering lights and thin walls that let in the noise of a city that never truly rested. But inside their home, there lived warmth, prayer, and a hope larger than their circumstances. Noreen's father had died in a construction accident when she was only 7. Since then, Zulika worked long hours as a seamstress in a garment factory in Queens, stitching her pain into every fold of fabric. Despite the odds, she poured her soul into raising Noreen with values, honesty, humility, and hard work. Noreen, now in high school, was a quiet girl with deep brown eyes that held questions and answers both. She studied hard, tutored neighborhood kids for a little cash, and helped her mother with small sewing projects late into the night. One rainy afternoon, on her way home from the public library, Noreen saw an elderly woman collapse near the bus stop. People kept walking, umbrellas tilted away, eyes turned elsewhere. Without thinking, Noreen rushed to her side, called 911, and stayed with her in the cold until help arrived. The woman, Mrs. Hadley, was taken to the hospital, weak but safe. A week later, her son, Mr. Charles Hadley, a well-known businessman and owner of a retail chain, showed up at Noreen's door. "You saved my mother's life," he said, voice heavy with emotion. "She keeps talking about you, says you're an angel in sneakers." "I just did what anyone should," Noreen replied modestly. "I didn't do it for thanks." Impressed by her humility and grace, Mr. Hadley offered her a scholarship through his company's youth initiative. Noreen hesitated, but her mother encouraged her. "This is your path, Beta," she said in a soft Urdu accent, brushing Noreen's hair back. "Go walk it with pride." With that support, Noreen entered a top community college in Manhattan. She stood out not just for her grades, but for her kindness and calm nature. While other students flaunted brands and followers, Noreen quietly balanced class, part-time work, and her mother's fragile health. She didn't go to parties. Her world was purpose, not popularity. One day, a guest speaker from a tech company visited her college. There was a nationwide competition, a full scholarship for a master's program in California, with a job offer and housing included. Everyone applied. Noreen, encouraged by her professor, reluctantly submitted her essay. Weeks later, she was called in. She had won. She walked home that night, heart pounding. The streets blurred under city lights. California meant opportunity. A new future. But it also meant leaving her mother behind, alone, unwell, vulnerable. At dinner, she told her mother everything. Silence filled the room, broken only by the clink of metal against plate. Zulika smiled faintly. "You were born for more than this. If this is your door, go through it. I'll be okay, inshallah." Noreen wanted to believe that. But that night, she cried herself to sleep, torn between dreams and duty. Days passed. She prayed, walked the park in silence, and finally made her decision. She wrote the company a heartfelt letter. "Thank you for believing in me. But my mother is my foundation. Without her, there is no success I can celebrate. If ever a similar opportunity arises closer to home, I'd be honored to be considered again." That email marked the closing of one door, but the opening of a deeper one where compassion guided courage. Months later, Noreen finished college and launched a small nonprofit, Light Within, offering mentorship, tutoring, and scholarships to underserved immigrant girls in New York. Mr. Hadley became one of her supporters, and Mrs. Hadley proudly called her, "the daughter I never had." Her mother, though growing weaker, smiled more often. "You didn't chase the world, my daughter. But now the world chases your light." Noreen Ali, once just a girl from the corners of Brooklyn, became a symbol of strength for thousands. She had no cape, no riches, but she had purpose, and in a world gasping for hope, that was more than enough.